Thank you for joining us for this story from man's history. If you like our channel, please like, subscribe, and click the bell for notifications of new releases. The tragic end of the Titanic came just before midnight, on April 14, 1912, after the ship's impact with an iceberg caused a large gash below the ship's waterline. As the ship increasingly took on water, the scene on board was one of chaos and panic as passengers sought escape from the sinking vessel. Nearly 3 hours after the collision, the Titanic, whose tail had risen almost perpendicular to the water's surface, slipped beneath the waves, many of the ship's lights still lit, illuminating the scene. The ship, once thought to be unsinkable, sliced its way to the bottom of the Atlantic, coming to rest at a depth of more than 2 miles, where it lay hidden for 73 years. Though many searched for the remains, it wasn't until 1985 that Robert Ballard announced that he had finally found the Titanic. However, the story of exactly how he discovered the sunken remains was kept a highly classified U.S. government secret until it was fully declassified in the early 2000s. The story goes back to 1982, when Ballard, who had performed a number of top-secret naval missions during the Cold War, was developing his own remotely operated underwater vehicle, the Argo, to help achieve his lifelong goal of finding the Titanic. The Navy stepped in to fund Ballard's project to find the Titanic, with Ballard's promise that he would use his equipment to find the Thresher and the Scorpion, 2 U.S. nuclear submarines that both sank in the Atlantic in the 1960s. The real mission, disguised as a search for the Titanic, was kept secret because the Navy didn't want the Russians to find the submarines. After finding both submarines, which took longer than Ballard expected, he had only enough money left to afford him 12 days to look for the Titanic. Though the camera-outfitted robot scanned the Atlantic seafloor for a week, it found nothing. Finally, on the 8th day, in the early morning hours of September 1, 1985, at a depth of more than 12,400 feet, the video feed from the undersea robot showed a dim, grainy outline of the Titanic. As the crew celebrated their discovery, they noticed that it was almost 2:20 a.m., the approximate time that the ocean liner had disappeared into the ocean, taking over 1,500 people to their deaths. Ballard's success was due to the lessons he learned while finding and photographing the Scorpion. He discovered that ocean currents cause sinking vessels to leave a trail of debris on their path to the ocean floor. He simply had to find the trail, which led him to the ship. Ballard spent the remaining 4 days filming and photographing the wreckage using both Argo and Angus, another unmanned submarine. The images captured large sections of Titanic's hull and mast, including the crow's nest from which the deadly iceberg had been spotted. A missing skylight allowed the submersibles the opportunity to view the interior of the ship where the grand staircase had once stood. Scattered debris included pieces of china, furniture, and even an unopened case of champagne. The only remains of the victims were the many pairs of leather shoes resting along the ocean floor. Ballard and his team returned to the site on July 12, 1986, to make the first detailed study of the wreck. A remotely operated vehicle that could fit through small openings allowed access into the ship's interior. The ROV returned detailed images of the wreck's condition. With the Cold War over, Ballard used his skills and technology to help uncover many other famous shipwrecks, such as the Bismarck, the Lusitania, USS Yorktown, and PT-109. In 1988, Ballard published Discovery of the Titanic, exploring the greatest of all lost ships, later recounting his expeditions in a National Geographic video, which omitted the fact that the ship's wreckage was actually discovered as part of a top-secret government operation. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, and click the bell. Stay tuned for more videos, coming soon.